Good morning, 7th grade. Lesson number 3, subjects and predicates. We're going to take 2 days to go through lesson number 3. Today I'm going to explain the difference between the subjects and the predicates, and then you'll have an opportunity today to practice the first half on simple, and tomorrow the second half on complete subjects and predicates by way of IXL exercises. Once again, if you follow along with me today, you'll have your assignment completed, and then you can just turn it in your homework folder packet. Okay, subjects and predicates. Hopefully, for most of us, this is going to be review. We're going to be talking about the subject of the sentence and the predicate of the sentence, also called the verb. As we mentioned at the beginning of the week when we spoke of the different kinds of sentences, declarative, imperative, exclamatory sentences, we said we were looking only at the punctuation. They were complete sentences. And now today we're going to look at these kinds of sentences and we're going to find out what is the sentence talking about and what is the subject of that sentence doing. Sunlight shone through the cracks in the old shed is the first example. What is the sentence talking about? Sunlight. What did the sunlight do? It was shining. It shone. Sunlight shone. Class, I want you to be remembering our study last week. I said we were going to begin the year by flipping ahead some lessons and taking a look at prepositions and prepositional phrases. And this is going to be extremely helpful as we go through our lesson concerning subjects and predicates. Look at my sentence. Through the cracks in the old shed. Those are 2 prepositional phrases. My subject, my predicate will not be found in the prepositional phrases. Some students now are going to underline or highlight or put parentheses around the prepositional phrases first. Look what's left in the sentence. 2 words. Subject, sunlight, predicate, shone. If you can identify your prepositional phrases, your work is going to be a lot easier. Okay? The first part of my lesson is to identify the simple subject and the simple predicate. The second part of my lesson is once I identify the simple subject and the simple predicate, then I want to be able to separate the 2. Sunlight is the subject. Shone is the predicate. I can put a line in between sunlight and shone, and that separates the 2 parts of my sentence. This one word is also called the complete subject. These words, including the prepositional phrase, is called the complete predicate. For each of my sentences, I'm going to be identifying several things. Number 1, what is my simple subject? Number 2, what is my simple predicate? Simple subject, sunlight. Simple predicate, shone. Thirdly, complete subject. What are all of the words that come before the predicate? All of the words that come before the predicate are called the complete subject. Fourthly, complete predicate. All of the words that are from the predicate to the end of the sentence is called the complete predicate. We'll go through a bunch of examples, and I think you'll catch on. I think you'll see how this works. The noise of the thunder scared the children. highlighted for us in bold print is noise, simple subject, scared, simple predicate. All of the words that come before the predicate is called the complete subject. I would put a line in between thunder and scared. The noise of the thunder, complete subject. Scared the children, complete predicate. We're going to go through these sentences and we're going to follow that same example. I'm going to underline the simple subject once. I'm going to underline the simple predicate twice. Sometimes there's going to be a helping verb. We'll try to remember to take this along. Thirdly, I'm going to put a line between the complete subject and the complete predicate. As we mentioned before, some of us might want to start out by highlighting, underlining, or putting parentheses around the prepositional phrases. In my sample sentence, if I take away my prepositional phrase as the Emerald Isle, all that's left is the subject and the predicate. Sentence 1. I like that idea of taking a look for prepositional phrases against its blue backdrop. That's a prepositional phrase. If I take away this prepositional phrase, look what's left. The rolling green landscape glows. My simple subject is landscape. My simple predicate is glows. I put a line in between landscape and glows. Underline landscape once, glows twice, put a line in between. Let's notice the location of the subject and the predicate and where my line goes between. Mild temperatures keep the lush vegetation green. What's the sentence talking about? It's talking about temperatures. What do temperatures do? Keep. I'm putting one line under temperatures, two lines under keep, and I put a line in between. Notice the pattern. Simple subject, simple predicate. A line in between the two which separates the complete subject from the complete predicate. Regular rainfall keeps the soil dark and moist. Sentence talking about rainfall. What does rainfall do? Rainfall keeps. Line in between the two. Trees once added greatly to the greenness. What is the sentence talking about? Trees. What did trees do? Added. You might want to make a note. You can write this on your paper. You circle number 4, maybe make a note over here to the side. I want to look especially at the word once. Sometimes I have adverbs in the sentence. We'll talk about adverbs in more detail later in the year. But when I have an adverb, how did they add? They added once. The adverb goes along with the verb. This is an exception to the rule. My line goes between trees and once. The simple subject is trees. The simple predicate is added. But because I have an adverb, my line goes between trees and once. You may care to make a notation for number 4. It includes an adverb. Number 5, Little Woodland remains in Ireland today. However, woodland, what does woodland do? Remains. Line between woodland and remains. You see that follows the pattern like sentences 1, 2, and 3. Number 6, farmlands cover most of central Ireland. What is the sentence talking about? Farmlands. What do farmlands do? They cover. Farmlands cover. Line in between farmlands and cover, which separates the complete subject from the complete predicate. Many mountain ranges rise near the coasts. What is the sentence talking about? Ranges. What do ranges do? They rise. Line in between ranges and rise. If some of you have questions at this point, maybe make yourself a note over here. Write down what your question is, what number it is, what is the example, so that when you have a question to ask when you message me later, you'll remember what that was. Number 8, Ireland's highest peak is in the mountains of Kerry. Again, I'm remembering my prepositional phrases. That's a prepositional phrase. So that's not going to be my subject, or it's not going to be my simple predicate. What is the sentence talking about? Peak is. Line in between peak and is. Now, the prepositional phrase is part of the complete predicate, but it's not the simple predicate. It's not the simple subject. Line in between peak and is. Kerry is one of Ireland's 26 counties. Kerry is. Line between Kerry and is. Sentence number 9 is like this sentence up above. The simple subject is sunlight. The complete subject is sunlight, even though it's one word. The same thing is true with number 10. Kerry is a beautiful area of lakes and mountains. Kerry once, is twice. Line in between Kerry and is. Again, I noticed the prepositional phrase of lakes and mountains. That really takes a lot of other words away from the sentence that I cannot select. Ireland's beautiful landscape inspired her many writers and artists. What is the sentence talking about? Landscape. What did landscape do? It inspired. Underline landscape once, inspired twice, and put a line in between the two. We notice I have one exception on these first items. Sentence number 4, if there's an adverb, I put my line after my simple subject. Even though the simple predicate is added, the once goes to the right side. It goes to the complete predicate. Let's go to the next side. Number 12, dramatists from the Emerald Isle include the Padraic Colum, Sean O'Casey, John Synge. Number 12 is going to be another example of an exception to the rule. Number 12, my simple subject is dramatists. My simple predicate is going to be include. Now, some of you are already recognizing from the Emerald Isle is a prepositional phrase. If I have a subject followed by a prepositional phrase followed by the simple predicate, my line goes after the prepositional phrase. Simple subject underline once, dramatists. Underline twice, include. And my line goes after isle. If there's a prepositional phrase after the subject, it goes with the complete subject. Again, you can make a note for yourself here. Number 4 on the front side and number 12 on this back side are two exceptions to the rules. One that uses an adverb, the second that uses a prepositional phrase. Number 13, these playwrights' works appear at the Abbey Theatre in Dublin. Again, some of us are looking for prepositional phrases. There they are. So it makes it much easier for me to figure out. The sentence is talking about works, and what do works do? They appear. And the line goes between works and appear. William Butler Yeats started this theater. This is a proper noun. This is the name of a person. This is the simple subject. William Butler Yeats. What did he do? He started. Line between Yeats and started. Number 15, Yeats was. Line between Yeats and was. Now, if you look at the rest of these sentences here, they follow the patterns that we had talked about earlier. What I'd like for you right now is to take a couple of minutes and read through the sentences and, to the best of your ability, underline the simple subject once, the simple predicate twice, and put a line in between them. Thanks for working and trying your best. Let's take a look at these sentences. I'm going to start out with the ones that I highlighted, 17, 19, 20, and 23, because these are some examples of the exceptions to the rules that we talked about in sentences 4 and 12. In number 17, you will notice that there is a prepositional phrase that comes in between writers, subject, underline once, were, predicate, underline twice. Remember what we do if there's a prepositional phrase? The line goes after age. So the complete subject would be other writers of this age, line separating, simple predicate twice, were. Number 19 is like number 4. Simple subject he, simple predicate wrote. Because often talks about how he wrote, this is an adverb. So my line in number 19 goes between he and often. Number 20, influence extended. Notice the prepositional phrase in between. That's like number 17. That's like number 12 up above. The prepositional phrase goes with the complete subject. Underline influence once, underline extended twice, and the line goes between writers and extended. Number 23. I notice that there's an adverb that comes in between. So I'm going to underline the name of the person, Oscar Wilde. Once found twice. The adverb goes with the complete predicate. The line goes between wild and also. The rest of the sentences follow the pattern. He once, lived twice, line between he and lived. Joyce is. When they're together, the line goes between the two. George Bernard Shaw was. Works once, include twice, line between the two. Wild is. They're together, the line goes between the two of them. Painters perfected, line between painters and perfected. Painters once, perfected twice. Artists are, line between artists and are, which separates the complete subject, to Irish artists, from the complete predicate, are Maurice McGonigal and Estella Solomon. 27, again, artists produced. Because this is a prepositional phrase, artists once, produced twice, line between Ireland and produced. Finally, each captured. Line between each and captured, underline each once, captured twice. My takeaway for today is sentences have subjects and predicates. Everything that goes along with the subject is called the complete subject. Everything that goes along with the predicate, including an adverb that might come before the word, is called the complete predicate. Today's IXL practice deals with simple subjects and simple predicates. Tomorrow's IXL practice deals with complete subjects and complete predicates. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask concerning subjects and predicates, please send them my way, and I'll do the best that I can to help you. Once again, you've completed your lesson, so simply place lessons 1, 2, and 3 into your homework that's going to be sent back to school. Have a great day.